Ain't that the
Yeah,
truth?
some basketball, some hockey. We got a whole bunch of sports on the table today. Why don't we jump right into it?
Sure.
So, the Warriors are having an uncharacteristic down year. They're sitting just around 500, a bit over it right now. But they still inked their head coach Steve Kerr for a 2-year, $35 million extension through the 2025-2026 season. What does this mean for the Warriors' future? And is Curry going to be a Warrior come next season, or will he find a different team to go play for? Curry's been a Warrior all his life, but I wouldn't be surprised if he needs a bit of a change of scenery, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. It, like you said, uncharacteristic down year for the Warriors. You consider the Warriors a dynasty, and to be honest, Steve Kerr has had much success because of the team that he has had. So for him to sign this 2-year deal for $35 million, that's a lot of money. But it shows that they have trusted Steve Kerr. And, Steve Kerr has been around Steph Curry for most of Steph Curry's life. So, sorry, most of Steph Curry's basketball career. So I think Steph Curry should finish his um his career in Golden State for many reasons. You hold respect to the basically the fan base that kind of raised you in a way. You end where you started off. And you know what? You just all that success could be just like left there. You have fun as a warrior, but it would definitely be shocking if he'd want out of San Fran. You know why? Because you never know. Steph Curry could be hungry for another ring, despite even four is not enough. Some people struggle to even get one, but
Mm.
it should be interesting. I think he will stay because Steph Curry is a loyal guy. He is the guy that has been with Golden State his whole life. The fans have given him everything that he wanted. He's never suffered hate from there. So I don't think there's any reason why he should leave because San Fran has such a big place in his heart.
Yeah, of course. Kind of, you kind of almost have to finish with the team that you started with because there's been so many ups and downs for Warriors fans. This Steph Curry he's not always been the star that he is now. They had to almost raise him as a player through the younger years, not an amazing player, and grows to become one of the best players of all time, one of the best shooters, generally one of the best players. Steve Kerr's done an excellent job with Curry. You talked about him being a huge part of his career. He's been a huge part of his life, man. He's been his head coach for forever. They've won championships. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in Warriors history. And those two have won together. Those two have done a lot of things together. Kerr's extension goes perfectly in line with Curry's extension. So their contracts would both end in the same year, which I don't know if that was planned or not, if that just how it kind of fell to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was their goal, to keep Curry around for as long as Steve Kerr's around, because I think they want to keep Curry for as long as they can. And I wouldn't be surprised if Curry would like to stay with Steve Kerr. You know what this reminds me of, though? This reminds me of Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. But when Kobe Bryant started to get to the end of his career, he had a choice to make because you didn't have Shaq anymore. You didn't have that super Lakers squad. Now you're kind of fighting, you're kind of scrapping for some playoff appearances. And I'm sure he could have gone out, he could have left, but instead he stayed loyal to the Lakers and is one of their best players, if not the best player, again, of that entire franchise.
Oh yeah, definitely. But coaching is kind of like, especially coaches are kind of like your father of the sport. We could take Michael Jordan for instance. He didn't want to play for any other coach unless it was Phil Jackson. And as soon as Phil Jackson went out of Chicago, Michael Jordan retired. So I think that's why they wanted to keep Steve Kerr for that long because, like you said, Curry's deal ends at the same time as Steve Kerr's deal ends. That just shows that I think Curry wouldn't want to play for anyone else but Steve Kerr, and that's why I think he Curry will stay in Golden State just as long as Steve Kerr is. I mean, Steve Kerr has been with the Warriors dynasty the whole time. Steve Kerr's a
Yeah.
four-time NBA coach. Like he has four NBA titles as a coach, a couple when he was with Chicago and San Antonio. But apart from that, that's all I really got. It's just the trust between Curry and Kerr just simulates to that on why they'd give him this deal.
Yeah. And for another 2 years, my worry is now with Klay Thompson fading and Draymond Green not being that dominant anymore, Curry can't carry this team anymore. And we've seen this already this season. It's getting hard for Curry to keep doing things. He's been dropping crazy numbers, but like I say, they're hovering around 500. They're a bit
He's getting
over,
old.
they've been under. He's getting old. He's 35 now, I'm pretty sure. That's insane. He's one of the older players in the
Yeah.
league and he's still putting up absolutely absurd numbers. But his team, there's no one to help him. And for 2 more years, I'm not sure he can win anything significant in 2 years unless that franchise turns something around. Do you disagree? Because I don't know if that's a hot take. I think it's not the franchise. I think it's the players that they had, like you said.
Definitely, the players that they have right now are not the best. Draymond Green has been slacking. He's about to sign a contract with the UFC for all I know because he's been it's been ejection after ejection after ejection. That is not helping Curry out. Curry is not the main defense guy. Matter of fact, there is no defense on this team in my eyes,
Yeah.
and that is kind of Steve. There's also no big men to help out Curry. Curry can pass. There's no big man. We've seen time and time again that you need a big man to lead the league in any type of numbers. We've seen the past 3 years we've had two centers win the league MVP. You need a center, but that's part of Steve Kerr's like coaching style. Always shoot from three. But right now, you really only have two guys that can shoot from three, and that's Chris Paul and Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson
Yeah.
has had a super down year. It is not the Klay Thompson that we retire. He's dropping 3 points, 13, 12. His biggest game came on February 16th, where he had 35 points. And that's when he was on the bench as well. So, really, like you said, no one to really help him around except for Chris Paul. Andrew Wiggins is MIA right now. We don't know where he's at or what he's doing. The
Yeah.
Warriors don't have a big man center. You can't power like that. And like I said, we've seen it time and time again for the past years. You need a big man to win an NBA title. Despite 2 years ago, the Warriors did win without a big man, but that's when it seemed like everybody was doing their job. You had Jordan Poole that was doing amazing. You had Draymond Green that was doing very good, and you had Klay Thompson that would drop points. But now nobody is doing their job. It's like they lost the love for the game. But like I
Yeah.
said, Chris Paul and Stephen Curry are like the heart of the team, right? Despite Chris Paul being injured for the past couple games, but apart from that, Chris Paul averaging 8.9 points a game, assist 7.2, rebound 3.8. So assists can help with Curry's shooting, but when you look at those stats, they're not bad. It's just 8.9 points a game for CP3 is just not correct. CP3 is a scoring merchant. He can absolutely score anytime. But then you
Yeah.
compare his points to like Curry, 27.8, rebounds, Stephen Curry, 4.3, assists, 5.1. That says a little something in my eyes because Curry is capable of passing, and he's been passing a lot more this season. In his entire career, he's averaged 4.7. But yeah, like you said, it can't be all Curry.
Yeah. And you talk about Chris Paul. It's true that his days of elite basketball have kind of faded. He's old. This is a really, really old team. Steph's 35, Clay's 34, Draymond's 33. And including Chris Paul, four of your best guys are on the older side. And you can see with Klay Thompson, he's not as good. Brendan Podziemski, what? I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Brendan Podziemski. I suck with
Consummate.
names. What? Okay, Brandon. We'll call him Brandon. Brandon. Brandon's been really excellent this season, and he's been one of Curry's top guys. He's a great
He
shooter.
is the
He's a
rookie.
younger guy. Yeah, he's a younger guy. He's really, really good. Kaminga, as good as he
He's
is,
kind of the
cannot be. Yeah, he can't be all of it. Gary Payton's fine.
yeah.
Kevon Looney's fine, but it's been mostly Curry. As good as these guys are, they're not giving him help. Curry doesn't have that wingman like some other guys do, like Giannis and Lillard or Damon Kyrie.
This is the Warriors are, I think, are still too set back on winning from those years and think they can continuously do it with this team. If I were them, I'd start to trade for picks now. Try trading Clay Thompson for maybe a better player that could translate into draft picks. Draymond Green, trade him for a better defensive guy. Even Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins. In my eyes, you should try and trade at least most of the squad. Why? Because that will
Mm.
translate into probably younger guys, and it translates to younger guys, draft picks, potentially even better guys that you could probably like have prospects and stuff. Make a whole like project out of them. It's yeah. They're like I said, the Warriors are too set back on all that winning stuff, and they think that they could still do it with the team that they have now.